Are you after additional Life is Strange content? Specifically, content officially from the Life is Strange team? And specifically about double exposure? Look no further. Follow the Life is Strange game TikTok. For some reason, it was unbeknownst to me that Life is Strange had a TikTok account, but if you do not know, they do. And over the last couple of weeks, they've been posting a lot of stuff about the new Life is Strange title, Life is Strange Double Exposure. Around 2 days ago, at the point of me filming this video, the Life is Strange game TikTok posted a TikTok talking about everything you need to know about Life is Strange Double Exposure. In this TikTok, they just discuss the story, they discuss Max, and they also talk a little bit more about how you do not need to play the previous games to understand what is happening in Life is Strange Double Exposure, and that the game gives you all the context you need. This TikTok is exactly that, just compressed into a TikTok and is more brief. As well as following the Life is Strange TikTok, I also recommend you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am ridiculously close to that 1,000 subscriber mark, and I just want to say thank you so much for all of your support over the last couple of weeks. Anyway, let's get into the video. There's a specific TikTok on here that I mentioned just a moment ago, talking about the one that was posted 2 days ago, where they just talk about what you need to know about Life is Strange. There was a scene in this TikTok where Max is putting photos on her photo wall, and if you look very closely, there is a photo there of Max and Chloe. Now, anyone who has played any previous Life is Strange games, specifically Life is Strange 2, will recognize where that photo is from. That is actually the photo that you can find in David's trailer if you told Life is Strange 2 that you sacrificed Arcadia Bay and you kept Chloe alive. It's a little bit of a different render to the one that we see in Life is Strange 2. This one just seems a little bit more detailed, and ironically, Max and Chloe seem closer together in this photo than in the one in Life is Strange 2. But just looking at the background, Chloe's hair colour, the way they're dressed, I think this is the photo from Life is Strange 2, but a re-render. Now, I could go on a complete segue about this photo and talk so much about it, but I actually want to make a separate video talking about Chloe. I know I already have made a video talking about Chloe, but we know a lot more now than we did back then when I made that video. So there's definitely more theories and details to talk about now. So I do want to kind of remake that video and just talk about the updated things with, is Chloe Price going to be in Double Exposure, and why I think yes or no, obviously depending on the ending you chose. There's also a really nice photo of Joyce, which Max obviously took back in Arcadia Bay. As we all know, if you choose to sacrifice Arcadia Bay, Joyce does sadly die in the storm in the diner. It is confirmed. But of course, if you choose to sacrifice Chloe, Joyce does stay alive, and it appears that in the aftermath of Life is Strange 1, through the photos you see at the end of the game, Max and Joyce do stay in touch and almost grow closer together over what happened to Chloe. There are many reasons in this set of gameplay we've seen why Max would have a photo of Joyce, and this could mean so many different things depending on what ending you chose. If you chose to sacrifice Chloe, Max could just keep this photo because Joyce is a close person in her life, and they definitely, in my opinion, probably got closer together after Chloe's death. But if you choose to sacrifice Arcadia Bay, then in the same breath, Max might just keep that photo to remember Joyce. After all, Joyce was a big part of Max's childhood and growing up, so it would make sense that because she's so sadly no longer with us in that timeline, that Max would keep a photo of her. This brings me on to another topic of which other characters will we see in Life is Strange Double Exposure. Now, this is a very subjective question, and it depends on who you ask, because obviously there are 2 endings at the end of Life is Strange 1, and it was about a 50-50 choice of people who decided to sacrifice Bay or Bay. But I think if you decided to sacrifice Arcadia Bay, then obviously not many other characters are going to be in it because the majority of them died in the storm. But there is one character that a lot of people in the Life is Strange community have been talking about who could potentially make an appearance in Life is Strange Double Exposure, and that's actually Victoria Chase. Victoria Chase was the mean girl-esque sort of character in the first Life is Strange. She comes across as a bit of a bitch, but the more you play the game, and depending on the dialogue choices you make, her and Max grow quite fond of one another near the end of the game. And if you do not know, in either timeline, whichever ending you choose, Victoria does survive, because at the time of the storm happening, by then Victoria had been kidnapped by Mr. Jefferson and was in the dark room, so she would have been in that bunker and would have survived the storm. Other characters such as Kate, Warren, Joyce obviously, and other little side characters in the game are dead due to the storm. However, if you decided to sacrifice Chloe, then that opens up a whole other door of possibilities for the developers to include these characters in the game in some subtle way. I doubt they'll make a big appearance and a big thing of it, but I think that they won't be ignored and they'll be subtly referenced to. Characters such as Kate, obviously Max and Kate do grow very close throughout the first Life is Strange game. Of course, if you managed to save her from jumping off the rooftop, that is. But again, if you choose the Sparxxyy timeline, that never happens to Kate as far as we're aware, because Mr. Jefferson is then dealt with and the whole situation is dealt with, and people probably cut Kate a little bit of slack. I would imagine, or I would hope so. I reckon as well Warren could potentially make an appearance, because in the Sparxxyy ending, Warren does appear to be at Chloe's funeral, and that is likely to support Max. Whether there'll be a romantic item, I think maybe not. He doesn't really seem like the type of guy to make a move on Max during something so traumatic. As much as people love to say Warren is creepy, and he is a little bit, I do find him sweet. Once you've played Life is Strange Before the Storm, you realise that Warren is not creepy at all in comparison to Elliot. So Victoria Chase was also present at Chloe Price's funeral in that ending as well, so it would appear to me that again she probably just showed up to support Max. Even though Chloe and Victoria did not have much of a positive relationship, if you have played Before the Storm, their dynamic was very much jealousy on Victoria's part because of Chloe's relationship with Rachel, and a little bit of hatred, and it's hilarious. Joyce will obviously be alive in this timeline, and I would imagine that Max and Joyce have kept in touch. Another character that a lot of people have been talking about who could potentially be in Life is Strange Double Exposure is Mr. Jefferson. Now again, this depends on the choices you make, because there are some choices you make where Jefferson does get killed by David, and if you choose to sacrifice Chloe, then Mr. Jefferson does get caught and arrested for his crimes, and it is just presumed that in the storm, if he's not killed by David, then he is killed in the storm. But there's a potential, I think there's going to be a flashback scene, and I do have evidence to support this. So if you check out the ESRB website, which is just a organisation that rates games, Double Exposure has now actually been rated by them, and if you have a look at the rating summary, there is a section here at the bottom that says that the game contains some suggestive material, black and white photos of female characters fully clothed lying in vulnerable positions. That's obviously referencing what happened in the dark room. So if that doesn't support that there is going to be a flashback scene of what happened to Max and Jefferson, etc., then I don't know what is. It is suggested in the gameplay trailer we saw that Max is very secretive about her past, probably due to PTSD, and I think regardless of what ending you chose, Max still experienced being drugged and being taken advantage of in the dark room. The fact that it was by Mr. Jefferson, which he is a trusted authority figure at that point, I can imagine it is very, very traumatizing to be taken advantage of like that, and many other girls, by someone that you're meant to trust. So I can imagine that even though 10 years has gone by at this point, I can imagine that this is still a very traumatizing thing for Max, and something that she's trying desperately to keep in her past. That's pretty much all I have to talk about in this video. Before I end this video, I just want to say thank you so much to everybody who has shown so much support for my videos over the last 3 weeks to a month, ever since Double Exposure was announced. My channel has never ever gained that much traction or attention before, and as great as it is, it's almost a little bit overwhelming, but in a good way. It's been so great to receive so much feedback on my content, whether it be lovely comments talking about what I was talking about in the video, your own takes, even constructive criticism I appreciate, and I know that it comes from a place of just trying to help, so I don't take it personally. Nevertheless, I'm so grateful for it. So I just wanted to quickly say in this video, thank you so much to everybody, whether you're new or have been here a while, for supporting the channel and supporting my content and just viewing and interacting. It means so much to me, and it really helps me out. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I will catch you in the next one. Goodbye and take care.